Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about last week. I got a little busy returning back to my previous job, but I'm back and we'll be uploading every week. So without further ado, let's get into this week's video. It is a card trick, so hope you enjoy. Alright guys, just like before, I'm going to show you the trick and then we'll get in on how to do it. Like I said, it's going to be a card trick. So what I do is I go ahead and take out the cards. Let them know that for this trick, we're going to be using the two jokers. So why don't you go ahead and hold on to the two jokers. Go ahead and hand it to them. And then I show them all the cards are different. Make sure we get through the deck. And you can shuffle them if you want, or I can shuffle them. But either way, the cards get thoroughly shuffled. Any way you know how. Just mix up all the cards. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and have the spectator select a card. Spread out or do a fan in your hands, doesn't matter. A random card is chosen. For the example, we'll be using the 8 of clubs. Let's say they go ahead and take out that card. Cut the deck in half. Tell them to place the card right there. And if you want, you can even give one last look around to the audience. Card goes right there and you cover it. And then ask them if they want you to cut the deck in half once or twice. Every time I do this, it's always twice, but it really doesn't matter. Let's say they say twice, okay. Pick up some cards, say that's once, and that's twice. Alright, 2 complete shuffles. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a few shuffles. And then go ahead and tell me when to stop. You go down. And it really doesn't matter. They can say stop wherever they want. Let's say they say stop right there. Alright, do you want me to put it on top or back? And then they'll say either one, doesn't matter. Say they say top. Alright, and then just for argument's sake, give this one last thorough shuffle. Alright, now I said we're going to be using the 2 jokers that you're holding, so you go ahead and take them back. Alright, the reason I use the 2 jokers is because everybody always throws the jokers away. When you open up a brand new pack of cards, you have your promotional cards, you have your jokers, toss them in the trash. Why? Because in every game, you don't really use the jokers. The reason I keep them is they're my friends and I can use them in Magic. They can help me find any card in the deck. Watch. The jokers are gonna find your card. Your card's gonna be in between the 2 jokers. Boom. Your card is somewhere between the 2 jokers. And you pause for a laugh. And if they laugh, if not, you continue with the trick. Alright, no, but for real, the 2 jokers are gonna find your card on 3. 1, 2, 3. All the cards are over here. 1 card is left in between the 2 jokers. Go ahead and pull it out. And they can pull it out and show it is the 8 of clubs from earlier. Alright, let's break that down and how do we do it? Alright, first and foremost, almost all of my tricks that I do is with a normal deck of cards. I went ahead and started doing it that way because with the trick deck of cards, yes, they're amazing tricks, but then you always get the, oh, well, let me see it. Let me see it. Can you do it with my cards? So I built a whole set of card tricks that I could do with a normal deck of cards, and I encourage you to do so. Stay with me for weeks to come. I'll teaching you a lot of card tricks that you could do with a normal standard deck of cards. Alright, but let's get in on how to do it. Again, it is a normal deck of cards, so if they have cards, perfect, you could do it. If they don't have the joker, you could use any 2 cards. But I use the jokers because it is true. Nobody uses the jokers anymore. So I give them a little joke in there. Alright, but you go ahead and pull out the jokers, say we're gonna use the jokers, and you can hand it to them. If you're doing it on a table, yeah, you can leave them aside. But I really prefer getting them to hold on to the cards because it encourages them to be more involved in the show, and it's more fun for everybody. The more involved they feel, the more powerful the trick is gonna be. So I go ahead and say, go ahead and hold on to the jokers, and I hand it to them. And then, yes, you can let them shuffle the cards. Anybody can shuffle the cards. They do get thoroughly shuffled. That's another thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, well, can I shuffle them? And they try to get you off because they think you're doing something funny with the cards. This trick, the cards can be completely shuffled, and they feel more, again, involved if they shuffle. So go ahead and say, yeah, sure, go ahead and shuffle it. After the cards are shuffled and you get them back, say, okay, now we're gonna have you pick a card. It could literally be any card that they want, and let's say they pick this card, the 5 of clubs. Now you tell them to pick it and keep it a secret from you. They can show all their friends, but don't let you see it. While they're doing that, they're showing it around. You can go ahead and take about half the cards off. Really doesn't matter, but I really prefer somewhere in the middle. You tell them to put the card there. It goes down. Now, it's also a convincer when you pick it up and show them again. Okay, remember your card, and we'll go ahead and show everybody else. This is also a convincer because you can't see it because you keep the back of the card towards yourself. All right, go ahead and show everybody else. Remember your card, and it goes down right there, and you cover it. Now, when you cover it, you keep a pinky break. If you don't know what a pinky break is, it's when you cover the entire deck, but your pinky keeps a hold of where the card was. So when you pick up right here, the very next card is their card that they chose. So hold the pinky break. It shows a pinky holding the small little break in the cards, but from the front, from their view, they can't tell. The entire deck looks normal. Now you keep that pinky break. And what did I ask earlier? I said, do you want me to cut the deck in half once or twice? It lets them feel in control of how many times you shuffle, but in reality, it doesn't matter. Now, I was telling the truth when I say almost everybody picks twice. I've done this trick maybe 100 times, and out of those 100, maybe 2 people said once. So here's what happens. If they say once, that's perfect. You just pick up where the pinky's at. Just pick up and put that at the bottom. It's as simple as that. Then it's done. But let's get back into position. Let's say, well, what happens if they say twice? Then you go ahead and pick up half the cards from the top. Make sure there's still cards in between the pinky and the bottom. Let's see if you can see it on camera. You just pick up about half of the cards on top. So pick up some and say, okay, that's once. And then you pick up where the pinky's at and say, okay, that's twice. And either way, they felt in control because you cut it either once, or you can pick up half and say, okay, that's once and that's twice. But either way, you know the next card is their card, but they don't know that. So once you do that, their card is left on top. But now say, okay, now we're gonna keep shuffling because they don't know their card's on top, right? So once you cut it, now what we're gonna do is an overhand shuffle. But the first move is very important. All you do is peel off the top card. Make sure it's a single card, because then that will mess up the whole trick. So peel off the top card, and then peel off chunks. Because it doesn't matter, because now their card, you have controlled it to the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that again. Peel off one, and then chunks. Now you don't do it slow, you do this kind of fast. That way they don't see just the one card at the beginning, because then they'll get suspicious. So this is what it looks like in real time. Just like that. And then you have controlled their card to the bottom. Then what I do is I shuffle some more. So now they're thinking, man, the card's really getting lost. So what I do is I pull from the middle. I pull it from the middle. The bottom card stays intact because I pull from the middle. And then I'm doing this towards me so they don't see. I say I'm gonna keep shuffling, you tell me when to stop. And you can go all day long by peeling cards off of the top of this packet and dropping them. Now what happens if you run out? That's fine. You grab some more from the middle and keep peeling off of the top of that packet until they say stop. Whenever they say stop, so let's say they say stop right there, I choose my words. I say, okay, with this packet, do you want me to put it on top or back? They say on top, perfect, on top, you're done. If they say back, I say, okay, I put it right back where I got it from, in the middle. Notice how I don't mess with the bottom card, because that's their card. All right, so on top, back, doesn't matter. Cards are done like that. And you can leave it like this, but I do one final shuffle just for a convincer. I do the riffle shuffle. If you don't know how to do it, that's perfectly fine. You just take half the cards, and notice how I don't show their card. I keep it like this as a convincer of they're seeing the bottom card, but it's not. Their card's right here. So little convincer, I show it not on purpose, I just go like that. And the card that I know is theirs, I let go first. Then I let the other cards go, and they get shuffled. They think their card is completely lost at this point because you shuffled over a dozen times. There's no way you can know where their card's at, but in reality, you know it's on the bottom. All right, then I bring the jokers back in. I say, okay, now your card's completely lost. There's no way I can know where it's at or what the card is. But I use the jokers because the jokers are my friends and they can find any card in the deck. Now, you play a joke. All right, your card's gonna be in between the two jokers. Boom, your card's in between. You pause, you break the ice, they start laughing because, well, of course it's in between because you have 52 cards in between the two jokers. And same thing as last week's video, it breaks the ice and it gets them less worried about what you're doing and it allows them to enjoy the trick. And then you say, all right, but for real, the jokers are gonna find you two cards. So you find yourself in this position. This joker is a little bit off to the right. The bottom joker is a little bit off to the left so they can see them. You're gonna hold the top card with your thumb. And in the bottom, again, you know this is their card. So this is gonna be held with your pointer finger. And then the other joker is gonna be held with your middle finger. So you have thumb, pointer, and middle. You're holding three cards just like that. And you say they are gonna find your card on three. So right now you're squeezing so you can hold the entire deck. Then you're gonna go like this. 1, 2, and on 3, what you're gonna do is you're gonna release the pressure and let all the cards fly off. But because you're holding the 3 cards, this joker, the bottom card, and the other joker with your middle finger, because you're holding those 3, when you release pressure and you throw, it automatically stays behind. Now you might need to practice that a little bit. In fact, just practice with the 2 jokers. So I'm not holding anything but the 2 jokers. The top card fell off. But practice that throw. Then once you get that, practice throwing with the bottom card. Once you get the hang of it, it's super simple. Again, thumb on joker, pointer finger on their card, and middle finger on the other joker. 1, 2, 3. Now don't worry about cards that fall. I've done this and the entire deck falls on the floor. But they'll pay attention to 1 card in between the 2 jokers. And if they're not, they see all the cards fall. Make it look like you did it on purpose. All the cards are gone. But notice how 1 card stayed behind. And then you can even have them pull it out because it's more powerful that way. But have them pull it out, turn it around, and they'll see that it's their card and they are blown away. Because it looks like the card came from the middle of the deck. Because remember, you shuffled a dozen times. They told you how many times to shuffle. Convince them of that. Say, you told me how many times to shuffle. You lost the card in the deck. Now the jokers are going to find it boom, they go everywhere. One card stays behind, and it's their card. And that's how the trick is done. It does take a lot of practice to get that throw right. It is better if you catch the cards, that way your cards don't end up all over the floor. But it doesn't matter. If they do fall, just act like it was part of the whole routine. But go ahead and practice that. Practice that throw, and you have an amazing trick on your hands. Alright y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed that tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment section below. I will respond to all comments and answer all questions that y'all have. Again, when I first started out, and even to this day, first of all, I still use that trick in most of my routines today, and it still blows people away. It's always the simplest tricks that blow people's minds. So go ahead and practice it and get good at it. But almost all of my tricks that I do with cards, I'll say like 99% of my tricks, card tricks that I do is with a normal deck of cards. Because you want that ability to pull off an amazing trick like the one you just saw, and then them to say, no way, let me see the cards, take them, hand it to them, and walk away. And it's even better if it's their cards, because then they'll pull out the cards. Hey, you do magic, right? Here's my cards, show me something. It doesn't have to have the jokers. It could be any two cards. It could be the two aces, the two kings, the jacks, whatever the case may be. But there's nothing more powerful than doing an amazing magic trick with normal cards that they can look at or that they gave you. So again, stay tuned in the next couple of weeks, because I'll be showing you a lot of the card tricks that I do to this day that blows people mind, again, with a normal deck of cards. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this Magic Monday. Go out there, have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all next week.